want the advantage. We're going to be discussing real important clinical technologies as well as information technologies that can really make an athlete or even just the average person a little bit more aware of what's actually happening in terms of their health. There's a new word out there, and I just have to kind of give you a little heads up. We're actually coming from the Push Fitness Center. The huge monster. Actually, people still working out late at night tonight after going to church, so they're working out and they're having a good time. So what we want to do is we want to bring in these topics, and today we're going to be talking about personalized medicine, Mario. You know, ever heard of that word, Mario?
Yeah, all the time, Alex. All the time.
What are the things
I dream about it.
There you go, Mario, making me laugh. Right?
That's it.
So what we're going to be talking about is the personalized arena of what we have. Now, we've come to a state where a lot of people tell us, hey, you know what? You should have some more proteins, fats, or they come up with some convoluted idea, and you'll end up with your eyes crossed and most of the time more confused than anything else. And you're pretty much a lab rat to all these different techniques, whether it's Mediterranean, low fat, high fat, all these kind of things. So the question is that what is it? What's specific to it? And I think one of the frustrations that a lot of us have, Mario, is that we don't know what to eat, what to take, and what's good for me. What's good for me doesn't mean that it's good for my friend, Mario. It's different. We come from a whole different kind of genre. We live in a place and we've gone through things that are different. From 200 years ago, what did our people do? Well, we're going to be able to figure this out nowadays. In today's DNA dynamics, though we don't treat with these, it just gives us information and it allows us to relate to the issues that are affecting us. Now, today we're going to be talking about personalized medicine, DNA testing, and micronutrient assessments. So we're going to see what it is that how is our genes the actual predisposing issues, or they're the ones that give us the workings of our engine. And then also, if it's good for that, then we also want to know what our level of nutrients are.
Right.
Now, I know, Mario, you had a very dear and near question the other day with one of your, I think it was your daughter.
Yeah,
she was talking.
Mia.
What was her question?
Yeah, so Mia had a excellent question. She was asking me about utilizing creatine, which is very predominant in athletes. It's the buzzword. Use creatine to build more muscle and such. So the point that I talked to you about, Alex, is this is something so serious, so important that we cannot let in terms of the sports environment, performance environment. It's like taking a Bugatti and you're going, well, you know what? Hey, what do you think about just putting synthetic oil in it? And it's like, well, is it the synthetic oil that is necessary for that Bugatti? Mm-hmm. Well, it's good because it's synthetic. Well, no. There are lots of different forms of synthetic. It's like 530, 515, whatever it is. The viscosity level, it has to match. So same thing for athletes, and especially for Mia, the generality.
Let them know who Mia is. What does she do? What kind of things does she do?
Mia plays tennis. So her passion is tennis. And
she's a nationally ranked tennis
nationally,
player.
and she plays international on the international circuit, ITF. And she's right now in Austin with Karen and the rest of the Brady bunch, as I call them. She's working hard, and through all this COVID, kind of disconnect. Now she's getting back into the fitness mode. So she wants to optimize. She wants to really do her very best to catch up and move forward. And the question about nutrition, the question about what she needed, I needed a specific answer, not just general, well, I think it's good. Good is good and better is best. And the way that we look at it in that conversation of sports performance and also genetic nutritional conversation, functional medicine conversation. It's like, let's get really functional. Let's be on point instead of a buckshot. It's like you can go in and say, it generalities, but in terms of this, there's not a lot of information that is out there for athletes, and that's where the conversation linking the genetic and linking the micronutrients, that is phenomenal. Because as you mentioned, Alex, when we look at the markers, genetic markers, we see the strengths, the weaknesses, we see what's at risk and what is not. Is the body adaptive or is the body weak? So then we have to address the micronutrients to support. Remember, we talked about that, to support that weakness in that DNA, that genetic pattern, with something that we can strengthen. I mean, you can't go and change your genetics, but you surely can increase and be specific with your micronutrients to really change that platform and strengthen it and decrease the risk factors.
It's fair to say now that the technology is such, Mario, that we can actually find the I wouldn't say weaknesses, but the variables that allow for us to improve an athlete at the genetic level. Now, we can't alter the genes. That's not what we're saying, is that there's a world of what they call SNPs, or single nucleic polymorphisms, where we can actually figure out there's a certain set of genes that we can't change, like eye color. We can't do those. Those are very coded in.
Right.
But there are genes that we can influence through nutrigenomics and nutrigenetics. So
right.
there's when I mean by nutrigenomics is nutrition altering and affecting the genome, right, to a more adaptive or more opportunistic dynamics. Now, wouldn't you like to know what genes that you have that are vulnerable? Wouldn't she like to know where her vulnerability is? Well,
wouldn't we all want to know?
Yeah,
I mean, whether
there.
you're a high level athlete or you're a high level CEO or you're just a high level mom and dad that's running around from tournament to tournament, and you cannot afford to have low energy. That, when we talked about the markers, that methylation, within the body, we want to know, are we processing, or how are we doing in terms of the oxidative pattern within ourselves? Do we need that extra boost? Do we need to, increase, that green intake, that detoxified pattern, or are we doing well? And this is where when we look at the patterns of genetic markers, we can see that we are well prepared or we are not well prepared. Therefore, we have to look at the micronutrients, again, those markers, to say, are we meeting our needs, yes or no? Or are we just generalizing? And I would say 90% of athletes and people out there, they're generalizing. They're saying, well, taking vitamin C is good, and taking vitamin D is good, and selenium, that's good. But again, are you on point, or are we just guessing? Right, Alex?
Exactly. That's the thing. When we're in that store, and there's a lot of great nutritional centers, Mario, that are out there, and we're looking at a wall of 1,000 products, right?
Crazy.
We don't know where we have holes. We don't know where we need them. Now, there are certain deficiencies. You got bleeding gums, most likely you got some sort of scurvy or some sort of issue there that you need a specialist. But let's assume we look at things like scurvy, right? Well, we know that gums start bleeding. Well, it's sometimes not that obvious, right? That we need certain things. There's hundreds and thousands of nutrients out there. One of the things that we call them as cofactors. A cofactor is a thing that allows an enzyme to work, right? So we are a machine of enzymes, and what codes those enzymes? Well, the DNA structure, right? Because it produces the proteins that code those enzymes, right? So, but those enzymes, they have cofactors like minerals, like magnesium, iron, potassium, selenium, as you mentioned, and all different components. As we look at this hole that we're facing a wall, we would love to know exactly where our holes are. Because Bobby, or my best friend, says, you should take protein, take whey protein, you should take iron, you should take, well, maybe so, and we're hit or miss, right? So today's technology is allowing us to see exactly what it is where we have the holes.
And this point that you mentioned about the holes, again, the majority of the factors are not that extreme, like scurvy, bleeding gums. We're not. I mean, we live in a society where gosh, I mean, Alex, we have all the foods that we need. As a matter of fact, we got too many foods. It's crazy. I mean, again, the issues that we talk about is overeating, not starving. Okay. Or we're overeating and still starving because the nutritional pattern is very low. So that's a real factor there. But overall, we are really looking and addressing the component of what? Subclinical issues. We don't have the symptoms. We don't really have those big marker symptoms, but we do have low energy, but we do have a low recovery pattern, but we do have that problem with sleep, that quality of sleep. So those, again, are not things that are huge, but those are subclinical that erode our health and performance little by little. For example, with athletes, they cannot be just good. They need to be tip of the spear, top. They need to recover so quickly because in their performance pattern, they do not have time to guess. And I see that. They don't.
As you mentioned that, I mean, most of these athletes, when they want to assess their bodies, they want to know where every weakness is. They're like scientists. They're laboratory rats for themselves. They're pushing their bodies to the extreme, from mental to physical to psychosocial. Everything is being affected and put it in at full throttle. But they want to know. They want to know where that extra edge is. And if I could make you a little bit better, if there was a little hole, what will that amount to? Will that amount to a 2 more second drop in over a period of time, a microsecond drop? Well, the point is that the technology is there, and we have the ability to do these things for people, and the information is coming faster than we can even imagine. We have doctors around the world, scientists around the world looking at the human genome and seeing these issues, specifically at SNPs, or single nucleic polymorphisms, that can be changed or that can be altered or can be assisted in the dietary ways. Go ahead.
I'll give you one. The InBody. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a tool right there that is critical for a conversation with an athlete.
The InBody is the body composition
The InBody,
thing.
the BMI.
Yes.
You're looking at it in terms of your hydration pattern. You're looking at it in terms of, yes, body fat, that whole conversation. Everyone wants to know, I'm overweight, my belly fat. Again, when we're talking about, we had conversations on metabolic syndrome. We had conversations on risk factors, high triglycerides, very low HDLs, high LDLs. I mean, those are risk factors that put you in a pattern, in that line towards diabetes, and that line towards cardiovascular disease, in that line of dementia. But when you're talking about an athlete, they're not worried about diabetes. They're worried about, am I ready for the next tournament, and I'm going to make the cut.
I'm going to the Olympics. That's
they're
this
not.
is what they want to do.
And that InBody and the micronutrient, the combination of genonutrition, that genomic nutrition conversation on point, allows them to honor their work. Because I'm telling you, Alex, and you know this, I mean, everyone's listening to us, if you, again, the conversation I share with people is this: why are you training like a pro when you don't want to be one? Why are you training like a pro when you are not eating and have the data to support that pro level workout? What you're doing, if you don't do that, you are destroying your body. So again, if you're working like a pro, that means you're grinding. I mean, you're pushing your body to limits, neuromuscular. Again, we're chiropractors. We deal with inflammatory issues. If you're doing that, you're redlining that, but you are not turning around to recover through micronutrition, specific chiropractic, then you're going to damn it. You're not going to make it.
We're going to show that we've been able to see, and a lot of times cities come together for certain sports, such as like wrestling, right? Wrestling is one of those notorious sports that puts the body through massive emotional and physical stresses. But a lot of times what happens is individuals have to lose weight. You got a guy who's 160 pounds, he's got to drop down to 130 pounds. Right. So what the city has done in order to avoid these things is to use specific weight, and they determine actually what's the molecular weight of the urine, right? So they can actually tell, are you too concentrated, right? So what they do is that they have all these kids line up all the way to UTEP, right? And they do a specific gravity test to determine if they're able to lose any more weight, or what's the weight that they are allowed to lose. So someone who's about 220 says, you know what, you can drop up to about, XYZ pounds, right? Based on this test. And if you violate this, then you do that. But that's not good enough. We want to know what's going to happen. Because what happens is when the kid's in a load and he's fighting another person that is just as good of an athlete, and he's pushing his body, that's when the body collapses. The body can handle the load, but maybe the supplementation that the person has had, maybe their calcium has been so depleted that all of a sudden you got this kid who's 180 pounds. Pop. There
Say
goes
it.
The injuries. The elbow snaps, the arm's dislocated. That's what we see. And we wonder, how did he snap his elbow? Because his body has been depleted from these supplements.
And Alex, on the same level, you're talking about one-on-one, like that pugilistic, that intense the 3 minutes of your life. On the other level, when it comes to tennis, that's a 3-hour conversation.
Exactly.
There's no subs. There's no coaching, no subs. You are in that gladiator arena. I mean, when I see Mia playing, okay, I mean, it is like intense. I mean, every ball that's coming to you, it's coming to you with power. It's coming in like, can you take this? It's like someone like fighting across a net and looking at it. Are you going to quit? Are you going to chase this ball? Or are you going to let it go? And that is where the definitive factor of optimal micronutrition connected with the conversation of what exactly do you need in terms of genomic conversation will allow someone to scale up with a decreased risk factor of injuries where they know they can push themselves more and they have the confidence, Alex, I'm telling you, this is not just nutrition. This is about the confidence to know I got what I need and I can redline this thing and it's going to hold. It's not going to buckle. That's it.
You know what? I got little Bobby. He wants to wrestle and he wants to be in. And the biggest nightmare is the moms, because you know what? They're the ones that want Bobby to thump the other Bobby, right? Billy, right? And when their kids are getting thumped on, they want to provide them. And moms are the best cooks. They're the ones that take care of them, right? They're the ones that make sure. And you can see it. I used to see it. That the pressure on the child is immense when parents are watching, and sometimes it's just incredible to watch. But what can we give moms? What can we do for the parents to give them a better understanding of what's going on? I got to tell you, today's with DNA tests, all you have to do is kind of get the kid in the morning, open his mouth, do a swab, drag that stuff off the side of his cheek, put it in a little tube. Done. Within a couple of days, we actually can tell if Bobby's got strong ligaments, if Bobby's micronutrient levels are different, in order to provide the parent with a better kind of a roadmap or a dashboard to be able to understand the information that's affecting Bobby, so to speak, right? Because
and these are and this is what we've come a long ways. This is 2020, guys. 2020. This is not 1975.
No,
when Gatorade come over.
Right.
Come on, let's talk about that Gatorade.
Here, I got my tub.
Come on.
I got my tub, and it's got a lot of things on the side of it. I'm gonna have everything. You look like Buddha by the time you become diabetic with so much sugar you're eating from protein drinks.
Think about this. We have come a long ways, but we cannot just go in and go, oh, you need to hydrate. Here, drink these electrolytes, Pedialyte, and all that. That's not good enough. I mean, that's good, but it's 2020, baby. You got to scale up and level up, and we can't use old data and old, instrumentation and diagnostics, because the kids now, they're starting at 3 years old, Alex.
Yes.
3 years old. And I'm telling you right now, at 3, it is unbelievable. By the time they're 5 and 6, I'm telling you, the kids that I see, they're already in select teams.
Mario.
6 years old, they're in select teams.
Mario, the thing, the thing that determines if a child is ready is his attention span.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, you can watch this. You got to see a kid who's at 3 years and 6 months, and he ain't paying attention. 3 years and 8 months, all of a sudden he can focus.
Boom. It's on. It's lit.
In front of the coach, right?
Yes.
And they can, instead of the kid, you can tell because they wander and they're not ready. So if we're bringing the kids and we're exposing them to loads, experiences, then what we need to do is we need to give moms and dads the ability to understand, and as well as athletes of NCAA, how can I see what's actually happening in my bloodstream? Not a CBC, because a CBC is for basic stuff.
Basics.
Basics, red blood cell, white blood cell. We can do things. Metabolic panel tells us a generic thing, but now we know deeper information, Mara. We can go into the susceptibility of the gene markers and actually see this on test. And these reports tell us exactly what it is and how it pertains. Now,
and progression. So this is where I love. This is what I love. Everything in the world of performance is pre and post. So when you're a sprinter, they time you. It's electronic time. When you're a wrestler, they look at you. What's your winning ratio? What's your percentage? Anything. It's all data. It's data driven. As a tennis player, as a soccer player, they will actually track you. Computers will actually track how strong, how fast is your serve? Is it 100 miles an hour? I mean, it is crazy. So now, if you have that data, Alex, why is it that we do not have the same data for the most critical component, which is that biochemistry, that micronutritional, the foundation of performance is what happens inside of us, not what happens outside. And this is where people get confused. They think, well, my kid works, 4 hours a day and he has a private trainer, everything. My question is, that is really good, but you're putting that kid at risk if you are not supplementing on point, just as specifically when it comes to the special needs of that child or of that athlete. Because if we don't do that, Alex, we are not honoring the journey and the battle, that warrior. We're putting them at risk. And then all of a sudden, 2-3 months before a tournament, boom, pulled a hamstring. Oh, you know what? They got fatigued, or all of a sudden they had to pull out of a tournament. I see tennis players doing all of that. And why? Oh, they're dehydrated. Well, you should never have that problem. You should already know before you go in exactly where you are, what you're doing. And I love the combination and the platform that we have for all of our patients, because within 2-3 months, we can show pre and post, can't we?
We can show pre and post on body compositions through the Embody systems. And the systems that we use are incredible. We use DEXTAs. We can actually do body weight, fat analysis. We can do a lot of things. But when it comes down to predispositions and what's unique to individuals, we can go down to the molecular level. We can go down into the genes level and understand what the susceptibilities are. Yeah. We can go on, once we have the genes, we can also understand what the micronutrient level is on each individual. So what's pertaining to me, I may have more magnesium than you, and the other child may have totally depleted magnesium or calcium or selenium, or his proteins or his amino acids are shot. Maybe he's got a digestive issue. Maybe he's got lactose intolerance. We need to be able to figure out these things that affect the person.
And we can't guess.
And
the bottom line is this.
There's no need
everyone has that wonderful conversation, Alex, about, you know what? I feel okay. God, when I hear that, I cringe. I go, I feel okay. So you mean to tell me that you are putting your health, the most precious thing you have, and your performance based on a feeling? Mm-hmm. Like, wow, that means that your neuroreceptors in terms of pain tolerance is dictating your health. That's dangerous. Yes. That is completely dangerous. And also subclinically, you're not able to feel your deficiency in terms of vitamin D, your deficiency in terms of selenium, your deficiency in terms of vitamin A, E. I mean, all of these markers, you can't feel it.
You know what?
You can't.
We need to start presenting to the people out there the information that's out there, because what we want to let people know is that we're going deep. We're going down to the gene susceptibilities, the gene understanding as it is today. What we have learned is so powerful that it allows parents to understand a whole lot more of the issues pertaining to an athlete. We not only that, but the parents want to know, what are my susceptibilities? Do I have risk of bone arthritis? Do we have issues of oxidative stress? Why do I always inflamed all the time, right? Well, believe it or not, if you got the genes for, let's say you got the gene that makes you eat a lot, well, it's likely that you're going to gain weight. You can raise 10,000 people's hands who have that same gene marker, and you're going to notice that their BIAs and BMIs are way out of there because it's the susceptibility to that. Now, can they change it? Absolutely. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about understanding the ability to adapt and to change our lifestyle for the predispositions that we may have. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is wonderful. And I see this quite frequently in terms of the conversation about losing weight, and they go, oh, I did this program and it works great. And then you have 20 other people doing the same program and it's shot. It doesn't even work. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like hit and miss. So people are becoming disillusioned. They're putting their bodies through this incredible roller coaster ride, which is like the worst thing you could do. They're doing these extreme things, but they cannot sustain it. Because why? At the end of the day, it's not who you are.
It wasn't for you.
It's not who you are.
You may need a different type of diet.
Yes. And so we, and again, our conversation today is very general, and we're kind of starting this platform together because we have to educate our community, and we have to share the latest in technology and science that addresses the needs.
Personalized medicine, Mario. It's
correct. It's not general.
Wellness, personalized health, personalized fitness. We understand that. We don't have to guess if a diet is better for us, such as a low-calorie, a high-fat diet, or a Mediterranean-style food, or a high-protein diet. We'll be able to see that from the information that we're continuously gathering. These scientists are putting information together, and it's compiled, and it's here, and it's a swab away or a blood work away.
It's
crazy. It's crazy. You know what? And this information, of course, you need to, and let me be mindful. Before this started, my little my disclaimer comes in. This is not for treatment. Do not take anything we're taking as for treatment or for diagnosis. You got to talk to your doctors, and your doctors have to tell you exactly what's up there and what's appropriate for every individual.
We integrate. The point is this: we integrate with all of the healthcare professionals, all the physicians. We are here to support and champion the functional wellness. Okay, and as you mentioned, we're not here to treat these diseases. We're not. We're here to optimize. Again, when athletes come in and they want to be better, they want to get healthier and help their recovery rate.
That's it. What the bottom line is, the tests that are there, we can actually see Billy's not been eating well, okay? Billy has not been eating well. I can tell you, well, he eats everything, no, but he hasn't had these level of proteins. Look at his protein depletion. So we're going to present to you some of these studies out here because it's information, though it's a little complex, but we want to make it really, really simple. And one of the things that we were talking about here is the micronutrient test that we were actually providing here. Now, I'm going to present it to you so you guys can see a little bit here. And what we use is in our office, when a person comes in and says, I want to learn about my body, we present this micronutrient assessment where we can actually figure out what's going on. Now, this was one that was, let's say, it was in a sample for me, but it kind of tells you where the individual is. We want to be able to level the antioxidant level. Now, everyone knows that not everyone, but now we understand that if our genes are optimal, okay, and our food is optimal, but we live in an oxidative stressed state,
exactly,
our genes will not function. So it's important to understand what the
it's rust. When you're looking at this, and I see two markers. I see the one for oxidative, and then the other one is the immune system.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So again, they correlate together, but they are different. So the oxidative, I talk about rusting, like your system is rusting out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's oxidation. You see apples turning brown. You see metals rusting. So inside, you want to absolutely be at your best, which is in the green, in that 75 to 100%
Exactly.
functional rate.
Exactly.
That means you can handle the craziness of the world.
Mario.
You know?
Stress, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can look at the stress of the human body, Mario. What we can see is actually what's going on. So as I continue with this kind of presentation here, we can kind of see what this individual is and what is his actual immune function age. So a lot of people want to know this stuff. I mean, I want to know where I lie in terms of the dynamics of the body, right? So when I look at that, I can actually see exactly where I lie, and my age is 52, okay, in this particular situation, okay? Now, as we look down, we want to know at what...
So hold on. Let's get real. So you mean to tell me that through this incredible system that we can actually get younger? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it tells you if you're aging quicker. Okay, how's that sound, Mario? So if you can slow down, if you're in that top 100 of the green, you're going to be looking like a 47-year-old man when you're 55, right? So from the structure, from the immune function, from the oxidative stresses in the body, what's going to happen is that we're going to be able to see exactly where we are in terms of our body.
So that is correct.
Yes.
So we could be, our birth certificate could say 65, but our metabolic functional markers can say you're 50.
Yes. Let me make it real simple, okay?
Yeah.
You know what? People sometimes understand that oxidative stress we hear about antioxidants and reactive oxygen species. Let me make it simple, okay? We're a cell, you and I. We're having a family meal, right? We're enjoying ourselves. We are normal cells. We're happy, we're functioning, where everything is properly. All of a sudden, there's a wild-looking lady. She's got blades and knives, and she's greasy and she's slimy. And she comes on and she hits the table, boom, and she kind of walks away. You know, it's gonna unsettle us, right? It's gonna be let's call her an oxidant, okay? She's an oxidant. She's called a reactive oxygen species. Now, if we got two of those walking around the restaurant, we kind of keep an eye on her, right? All of a sudden, a football player comes and takes her out. Boom, knocks her out, right? In that situation, this greasy, slimy, weapon-looking lady, right, that's kind of scary, that was an antioxidant. That was vitamin C. It just wiped her out, right? There's a balance between oxidants and antioxidants in the body. They have different purposes, right? We have to have antioxidants and we have to have oxidants in order for us the body to function. But if all of a sudden you got 800 of those ladies walking around, zombies,
I can just see that. Zombies, man.
It is a real. You know what? You're gonna want. Where are the football players?
Yeah.
Where are the antioxidants? Right?
Take them out.
Take them out, Mario. And all of a sudden, the football players coming, but there's just too many of them, right? Anything that you and I do in a conversation, we could be healthy cells, and we're having this conversation at the dinner table, right? We're disrupted totally. We cannot function in an oxidative stressed environment. No. So basically, we may have all the supplements, and we may have all the nutrients, and we may have the proper genetics, but if we're in an oxidative state, right, a elevated level, we are not going to be aged. It is not going to be a comfortable night.
And we will not recover. We will be in a higher risk factor for injuries.
Exactly.
And the other thing is, we also have the risk factor where we will age faster than we should.
Dude, that night would be really rough as there's like 100 of those people around. The balance in life and the antioxidants, we have A, E, C, and all the foods that are antioxidants, we need to know the state. That is what this test does. It actually shows you the level of oxidative stress.
Let me ask you this, Alex. Everyone loves to work out. When you work out, does that increase or decrease your oxidative stress? Please tell me, because I want to know.
It increases your oxidative state.
No,
because you're breaking the body down. However, the body responds, and if we are healthy, Mario, if we are healthy, right? In that sense, our body first has to break down, and it has to repair.
Okay.
Right? In that process, we want to have antioxidants because it helps us go through the process. Part of healing and part of inflammation is oxidative balance. So in essence, when you're working out too hard or you're running hard, you can overburn the body.
There you go.
Right? And those are the things that you and I have to kind of look at. And when people,
and this is the balance. No, it is a balance. This is like the paradox.
Right.
You know what? If you overwork, you're going to look awesome, but you know what? You're actually breaking down. And if you don't work out, there goes your cardio. There goes, other risk factors,
Yes.
right? So this is where it is so critical that we need to balance and know specifically what each person needs to be at their best. And we can't guess.
No,
and you can't take
no.
the same supplements I can't take the same supplements as you. I can't.
We can, but it may not be a lot of waste of money, or maybe we're just missing the whole process.
Exactly.
So in this whole dynamics here, just losing at this test, Mario, just using at this particular assessment, we want to be able to see also what are our cofactors on. We talked about proteins. We talked about genetics. We talked about things that make these enzymes work. Our body functions in pure enzymes. In this particular model, you're actually seeing what the cofactors are and what the metabolites are. Well, you see amino acids, their levels, and where they are in your body. If you're an extreme athlete, you want to know that those things are in the breeding ring.
Look at that. Those aminos, those are critical. I'm sorry.
Hey, Mario, you think?
Yeah. It's like
think?
every athlete I know, they're like, hey, I got to take my aminos. My question is, are you taking the right ones at the right level? Or do you even know? And they're guessing.
Yeah,
90% of the people are guessing. You're looking at antioxidants. Look at that. That's the beast right there, glutathione. That's like the granddaddy of antioxidants right there.
Exactly.
And you want to know, is that football player, is that linebacker going to like crush those zombies?
Yeah.
And again, vitamin E, CoQ10. Everyone talks about CoQ10. What? Heart health, right?
Coenzyme Q.
Yes,
That's right.
Exactly.
Heart health. A lot of people taking cardiac medication specifically to lower the cholesterol. Well, they've pulled out
beta
studies.
blockers. What does it do to CoQ10, Alex?
Don't get
Tell
me started, Mario.
I want to get you started, man.
Yeah, because you know what? A lot of the documentation came out early on when they did a lot of these medications.
Yeah.
They knew they had to and put coenzyme Q in it. They knew, and they patented it because they knew that they had it. Because if you don't give coenzyme Q, right, what happens is you end up having inflammatory states.
Correct.
You have neuropathies. People have issues that are they're starting to understand now. That's why you see all the commercials with the coenzymes. But the point is this: we need to know where our present state is at, right? So when we understand those things, we can take a look at tests like these, and we can actually look at the dynamics of it. Wouldn't you like to know which these antioxidants? It's
so clear. I love this.
Exactly.
Look at that. You know what? It's red, green, black. That's it. You can see it right away. This is your board. This is your command center. I love the command center.
Now,
it's like everything's there.
Now, I know, Mario, with those athletes, they want to be at the top level.
Yeah.
This looks like this person's kind of floating somewhere in the middle, but they want to top in at 100%, right?
They're on the bench. They're on the bench,
right.
baby.
You know what? And when they're under a lot of stress, who knows what now, these tests are real simple to do. They're not complex. They go in, take a lab test. Sometimes these are urine tests. Sometimes
and we can do those
tests.
in our offices in a matter of minutes.
Exactly.
In a matter of minutes.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's like crazy. It's so simple. Yeah. It's like my question is, what color is the red bus? I don't know. Well, it's a trick question.
Well, going back into what our topic was today was personalized medicine and personalized wellness, personalized fitness. Doctors around the country are starting to understand that they cannot just say, okay, you're pregnant, here's a folic acid pill, okay? Here is some nutrients. Though every doctor has to be taking care of their own clients, they're the ones that are doing this, but people have the ability to understand, where are the other holes? Wouldn't you want to make sure you have the right selenium level?
Before you have symptoms. That's the thing. Before, and this is why we are not treating diagnosed issues. We're not. We're saying, what are you doing to optimize and decrease your risk factors?
There's the issue of longevity too, because the issue of longevity is if you're providing your body with the right substrates, the right cofactors, the right nutrition, your body has a chance to make it to 100 years. Plus, exactly. Right.
But actually function.
And if you have a depleted life, well, you're burning the engine, right?
Yeah.
So the body starts having issues, So as we look at those kind of things.
If you go back, can you go back to our two markers, the immune? Yeah, look at that. Immunidex.
Yeah, there's a reason why they stop here at 100, because that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to get you to live 100, right?
Centennial.
Right. So if we can do this, if you're a person who's like, say, 38 years old, and you're in the midst of your life, and let's say you're a business person and you're a junkie for business, you're a junkie for entrepreneurship, right? You want to throttle you against the world. You do not want a kind of Nicholas the Worm weakness, so to speak, taking you out of your football run in life, right? Because otherwise you can trip up on things. And what we want to be able to do is provide people through nutritionists, through registered dietitians, through doctors, through information out there to better supplement your lives. And it's not just about little Bobby. It's about me. It's about you. It's about our patients. It's about every single one of them who wants to live a better quality of life. Because if there's a depletion in certain things, it's not now, but in the future, you may have a susceptibility that will bring out diseases, okay? And
Absolutely.
That's where those susceptibilities, we can take it to the next level because we can actually see what's actually going on. In terms of this, I'm going to go ahead and bring this back up here so you can just see what we're looking at. You can actually see the B complexes. Now, we have a lot of B complexes, and we basically, we got people texting all over the place here. And I'm getting zapped with messages all the time, right? It pops up.
Your oxidative stress is going up, Alex.
Well, it's crazy that we've been here an hour, so we want to be able to bring information out for you guys. As time goes on, I want to go through this and talk about the individual antioxidants. Now, that's your football players, man. That's the ones taking those people out, right? Really making your whole life a lot better, right, Mara? This is the kind of stuff that we look at. You know, your glutathione, your steatines, your coenzyme Q, your seleniums, your vitamin E's.
Carbohydrate metabolism. Look at that. I mean, glucose and insulin interaction. That is called energy, baby.
I know.
That's called turbo. Last time I checked, that's it.
Well, we got a lot of good doctors out here. We got like Dr. Castro out there. We got all these great doctors out there that really understand.
We're running over. I mean, this is like, we're going to get in trouble. All right. We got to.
Facebook is gonna knock us out, dude. Facebook is gonna
They're gonna put a time limit on this.
I think it's an actually hour, but bottom line is we really
stay tuned. We're coming. We can't cover everything. Alex.
Hey Mario, when I went to school, we were terrorized by this machine called the Krebs cycle. Remember the Krebs cycle?
Crap.
For those that
how many ATPs, Alex?
Well,
how many?
32, Mario. Is it glycolysis or aerobic or anaerobic, right? So when we start looking at that, we start seeing how those coenzymes and those vitamins play a role in our energy metabolism, right? So in this individual, there were certain depletions. You can see where the yellow comes in. It affects the whole metabolic process, the energy production. So if the person's always tired, well, we kind of understand the dynamics of what's going on. So this is critical information. As you and I kind of look at this, right? We can say, what is it that we can offer? We can offer information to better dynamically change the way the body works, right? So this is crazy, right? So in terms of it, we can go on and on, guys. So what we're going to be doing is we're probably going to be coming back because this is just a fun topic.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
we're going to come back.
You know what? We got to change the way that all El Paso is, and not only for our community, but for the people that those moms that want to know what is the best for their family members. What can we offer? The technology is not. We're not going to allow ourselves in El Paso to be ever called the fattest, sweatiest town in the United States. We do have unbelievable talent out here that really can teach us about what's going on. So I know that you've seen that, correct? Yeah?
Absolutely. And what I can say is this, Alex, it's about peak performance and peak ability, and also getting the right, specific, customized genomic nutrition pattern for each individual. And that is the game changer. That's the game changer all the way from longevity, all the way to performance, and just being happy and living the life that you were meant to live.
Mario, I can just say that when we look at this stuff, we get really excited about it, as you can tell, but it affects all our patients. People come in all depleted, tired, in pain, inflamed. And sometimes we just, we need to go find out what it is. And we, in our scope, we are mandated to be responsible and to figure out where this lies in our patient's problems. Because what we're doing, if we help their structure, the musculoskeletal, the neurological system, their mind system, through a proper diet and through understanding, through exercise, we can change people's lives. And they want to be able to fulfill their lives and enjoy their lives the way they should be. So there's a lot to be said. So we're going to come back in probably sometime next week or this week, and we're going to continue this topic on personalized medicine and personalized wellness and personalized fitness, because working with many doctors through integrative wellness and integrative medicine allows us to be a part of a team where we have GI doctors, cardiologists. There's a reason we work as teams together, because we all bring a different level of science. There's, no team is complete without a nephrologist, and that dude's going to figure out exactly the implications of all the things we do. So that cat is very important in the dynamics of integrative wellness. So in order for us to be able to be the best kind of providers, we have to expose and tell people about what's out there, because a lot of people don't know. And what we need to do is we need to bring it to them and let the cards lie and teach them that they have to tell their doctors, hey, doc, I need you to talk to me about my health and sit down and explain to me my labs. And if they don't, well, say you need to do that. And if you don't, well, it's time to find a new doctor. Okay, it's that simple, because today's information technology is such that our doctors cannot neglect nutrition. They cannot neglect wellness. They cannot neglect the integration of all the sciences putting together to make people healthy. This is one of the most important things that we got to do. It's a mandate. It's our responsibility, and we're going to do it, and we're going to knock it out of the ballpark. So, Mario, it's been a blessing today, and we'll continue to do this in the next couple of days, and we'll keep on hammering and giving people the insights as to what they can do in terms of their science. This is a Health Voice 360 channel, so we're going to talk about a lot of different things and bring a lot of different talents. Thanks, guys. And you got anything else, Mario?
I'm all in.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon. Love you, man. Bye.